Hey folks, what's up? My name's Colin,
I'm Phil.
and today we're talking about Elder Sign, which is a light to medium weight game for about, well, the box says 1 to 8 players, but we're going to say 2 to 5. And the game takes about 45 minutes to an hour.
Elder Sign is a cooperative dice game with a Cthulhu theme and a dice mechanic, originally by Reiner Knizia, someone you wouldn't normally expect for a game like this, but it's pretty interesting. Let's take a look.
Cool.
In Elder Sign, you and your friends will take on the role of investigators in a museum trying to thwart the arrival of an ancient one. On your turn, you're going to choose one of the 6 adventures in play and move your player piece to that adventure. Then you'll collect the 6 green dice and you'll roll them. Your goal in rolling them is to get all the symbols in one of the rows shown on the card. If you're able to do that by rolling the symbols, you'll take those dice and you'll place them on the row showing it's completed, and then you'll take the rest of the dice and you'll roll them. If you're able to complete all the rows, then you've completed the adventure. If after a roll there's no row that you can complete with the dice that you rolled, you must take one of the dice and put it aside, and then you'll re-roll the rest of the dice. If you're able to complete all the rows, then you win the adventure, and you'll collect the rewards shown in the bottom right, usually referring to these upgrade cards here. You'll also collect the card itself, which is worth a number of trophy points as listed on the card. This will then be replaced by a new adventure card, which will go in its place. Some of the rewards will also let you reveal these otherworld adventures. These are generally more difficult adventures to complete, however they will always elicit at least one Elder Sign as a reward. If you fail to complete the adventure you're working on, and you run out of dice, you'll suffer the ill effects listed in the bottom left of the card. Usually these cause you to lose stamina or sanity, losing all of either of which will cause you to die and be out of the game. Instead of going on an adventure on your turn, you may remain in the museum lobby and spend previously received trophy points in order to buy upgrades or even an Elder Sign. The upgrades are these cards here, and the yellow ones, for instance, will give you the very popular yellow die. The red ones will give you the fan favorite red die. After your turn, you'll take the clock here and you'll move it 1/4 turn. This means that after 4 turns, it will return back to midnight. This is a universe where days are only 12 hours. When that happens, you're going to draw the top Mythos card here, which will give you some effect that will happen over the course of the next 12-hour day, and it will often also add Doom tokens to the Doom track. Some effects in the game will also make monster tokens appear, which are essentially new rows of tasks that will go on some of the adventures, usually making them more difficult. If at least one of your team members remains alive, and you are able to collect enough Elder Signs to banish the Ancient One, then you win the game. Otherwise, praise Cthulhu. So, we both like this game a lot, which is a great preface to what's about to follow.
Oh yeah, you're going to like this.
I gave this game a 7.5.
Yeah, I'd probably give it about 7.25, 7.5.
Huh. Anyway, this game is great to talk about because when we sat down to start making reviews, we came up with a list of things that we like in a game. Some way to compare from game to game what's good about a game, what's bad about a game, so we had a baseline whenever we played something new to compare it to. This game fails almost everything we came up with. Are there elegant mechanics in this game? Is
Absolutely
it clunky?
not.
It's very clunky. It's not super elegant. Is there a lot of downtime?
There's too much.
There is a lot of downtime, especially if you play with a lot of players. Is the theme implemented well in the game? That's a hard no.
Yeah.
Is the gameplay repetitive?
Incredibly.
Yes. Is it replayable? Yes. That is the one thing that it actually definitely succeeds in. The dice mechanic is very fun, and even though there's a lot of moving parts and things are fairly clunky and there's like a lot of things to remember, you know, how to focus dice versus using spells versus when you can save dice and what you have to get rid of, remembering terror effects, it doesn't flow super well, but the dice mechanic is so fun that
super fun.
It really makes up for it, and you don't really notice all that stuff, and if you forget some of that stuff, which you will, it doesn't really matter. It's never taken away from my enjoyment of the game. Downtime, yes, there's downtime. That's why we don't recommend playing with 6, 7, or 8 players. Not that it can't be fun with that many players, but
It depends on the
can't be fun
players.
with that many
Yeah,
players.
the game won't be fun. The interaction with the other people
Yeah,
might be fun.
you might have fun with the people, but if you were to just play it as a game, it would be pretty rough.
Yeah.
And even though the theme's not implemented that well, I mean, it's really just the abstract dice mechanic. It's a good theme.
The theme is really cool. I mean, it's a Fantasy Flight production, so you know there's going to be good artwork, good components. It looks really cool, and I'm into the theme. It's just not really in the game.
I mean, it is what it is. It's a dice game, and very rarely do you play a dice game, especially one that has Reiner Knizia anywhere near it, and feel like you're actually a part of whatever the theme is.
Yeah, if you want this theme and you want a heavy game from the same publisher, actually, go play Elder Horror.
Or Arkham Horror.
Yeah, but...
There are choices. And yes, it's repetitive, but it's fun repetitive.
Yeah.
I mean...
And it's quick.
It's very quick.
So you can play it again. I mean...
If you play a game with just a few people, you can play a game quite quickly. The box says 1 to 2 hours, but that's
a lot.
That's probably a lot. That's
probably
probably
for the wrong player counts.
That's including the full 8 players
Which
as a possibility.
you won't do now, because you know better.
I played a lot on the computer by myself, and there are very few games that I've played by myself on the computer that I wouldn't recommend to just about everyone. So even though there's a lot going on, and it's kind of fiddly, and you might want someone to play with you who's more of a gamer, you could definitely play even if you're just getting into games, or with someone who is just getting into games, as long as you're moderating and keeping track of all the little things.
Yeah, and you're accomplishing, like any co-op game really, but you're accomplishing something with your friends, or not. You might all die, but that's what's fun. I mean, you're kind of working together, and yeah, there's some downtime. Yeah, the mechanics don't really match the theme. Whatever. Like, you're doing something with people. You feel like you're building something. That's fun.
Yeah, it's not a perfect design. The rating isn't higher because of that. Because there's so many moving pieces that feel like they could have been streamlined. But the theme is cool enough, and the mechanic is cool enough, and Reiner Knizia's, he's okay.
He's cool enough.
Oh, yeah.
He's cool enough.
That the game is definitely worth looking into, especially because there's not a lot of dice games that are cooperative, and
that's true. Yeah, I mean,
it's nice to mix genres.
Yeah, there's definitely cooperative games that are better than this. But this one's still really fun, and I would still play it even over some of those better games at different junctures, just because of the play time. It's fun to chuck dice, all of that. So
yeah, there are other dice games, there's other co-ops, but this is unique enough that it's worth getting.
Definitely. Cool. That's Elder Sign.